If you can keep that right foot down all the time. If your car's not handling, I don't care if it's tight or if it's loose. You always crack the throttle to let that car recover a little bit. If you can keep the gas pedal down all the way to your pit stop, you are going to be in a good position to win this race.
Well, speaking of position, you can see the guys that are moving up through the field at the bottom of our screen there. Sam Hornish Jr. has been slicing his way through the pack. He's gained a bunch of spots. Elliott Sadler's got 9, and Larry, I got to tell you, Jeff Gordon's grabbing a handful. Oh, we got some trouble down the backstretch. 2 cars, including Mark Martin, sliding through
Spun us down the back.
the inside of the track in our first caution of the night now.
You all right, Mark? Got a lot of got a lot of front.
A lot of front damage is what he was trying to say here. Let's try to get a look. You see the 17 car up there, and I think Mark was just trying to slide up there in front of Matt, and that was just a close call, and an inch would have done it.
Yeah, and you know,
Montoya.
Whoa!
Almost made it.
But you look at Matt, there's 2 cars coming from 2 different angles to the same spot on the racetrack. And, you know, it's one of those deals that's give and take, and I don't think Matt thought that he was going to come up that quick either. I hate that for Mark, man.
Yeah, he was running 6th and 9th in the points coming into tonight.
See Matt up on the high side, and he's got a pretty good run there. I think Mark just closed up on him a little bit quicker than he realized. I tell you, Montoya did a really nice job there. That could have been big.
Yeah. And you know, he got down through the grass, and we'll have to see what it did to his splitter.
This is going to give you a really good idea of what it really looked like. If you're running up high, all of a sudden you've got a pretty good run, and you've got a lot of room in between Mark and the wall, and it just closes up. And you hear Matt got out of the throttle.
He did.
So he did try to cut Mark some slack, but it just wasn't enough.
And one thing that happens when you're in Mark's position, I'm going to say this, and you know this, Wally, when you're on that inside and you got that wheel cut and you start up the racetrack, sometimes the car will begin to take off, and if you let off that gas, the car takes off twice as bad.
You're right.
It just takes off twice as bad. It loses the nose and it flies the nose. And I think Matt let off, Mark probably let off a little bit. But if you notice that white line in that replay, there's not a car length above that white line. Matt was as high as he could go. Mark came up, and they just were fighting for the same place on the racetrack.
And that's one of the weird things. It's so much different here at Daytona than Talladega. Exactly what Kyle said. It's almost like you've got to keep the thing matted to keep the downforce on the front of the car. If you get off the throttle, you lose a little bit of that downforce on the front. And especially in turn 2, these cars will take off on you. 5 laps, you could just nail it, and then all of a sudden, the car take off on you.
All right, Matt, first round of pit stops. You get the first call. Marty, we saw Mark Martin have some issues taken out way too early tonight. What are you hearing from down there?
Yeah, Mark behind the wall right now, but we're watching Tony Stewart and Kyle talking about people's lips not moving. Tony Stewart's lips are not moving. You can see how well that car is handling. The first run, a little too tight. Spin on the track, Ralph.
Yeah, we do. It's Casey Mears, the same spot, actually, where we saw Mark Martin.
Caution's out, Kyle. We spun off at 2.
Whoa.
Oh,
wow.
Man, he had it saved. He had it saved.
I can't believe he jumped off the brake and let that thing roll.
Yeah, man, that's where you jump on the throttle.
Yeah,
at least.
And look, it's easy to sit up here and criticize, so let me say that. I apologize. But I really thought that when he was on the brake that the thing was going to stop, and then it just rolled off.
All right, I'm going to try to circle him. No, that's easy. I have to circle him. There he is. You do the next one, Kyle. Ooh. And you know what? That was one of those deals where we were talking about earlier. I think getting off of turn 2, the thing just getting away from you. Watch, he's down on the bottom. No, actually the 12, but he's still, the 07 was going up, the 12 was coming down.
And I'm going to say something. He has it saved here. I think he's got a flat right front tire. But he let off right there. He just rolled it back. He does have a flat right front tire, but he just let that thing roll
But you'll
back.
see that a lot in turn 2. I mean, you know, you lose the nose.
Look at Stremme just come down
Yeah,
there.
but Stremme did have he had a lot of racetrack there.
Casey was in 19th at the time.
Not sure Casey could have done a whole lot about that one.
No.
I got it. I don't got it.
clear, low behind 07 if you want it. 2 back to 2 by 2. Anything you need right now, all clear.
Wow.
That was a great angle. That really showed that the 12 car just took up all the racetrack, and Casey couldn't do a whole lot about that.
Casey could do nothing there. The 12 car changed lanes. It's like, I don't know where the 12 car thought he was on the racetrack, or if it bounced and it took off that way, but I mean, he come down a half lane.
And if it wasn't for the 07, it would have been the 12 car spinning down on the infield and probably hitting the wall.
Yeah.
Because the 07 straightened him out.
Yeah, kind of have to go around because the cars are all jumbled up, but Denny Hamlin so far has kept it out front. Terrific night for the FedEx team so far. Hamlin very happy with the car. When I talked to Mike Ford this morning, he told me the key tonight, finishing. They are 6th in the championship standings, but only 84 points in the chase, so just a top 10 is really what they want. Tony Stewart, you can count on 2 things tonight. They won the race off pit road, and he's been on the bottom of the racetrack the entire night. Takes about 8 laps for that 14 car to come in, but he always finds his way towards the front at the end of the run, Matt.
The 99 Carl Edwards, 3rd in line, and the yellow car hasn't gone to victory lane since last November here in Florida, South Florida. He's been on a roll, though, 3 top 5s in the last 6 races. This car was so good in practice, he quit early.
But
there's a crash on the racetrack.
On the backstretch. Big problems going down towards turn number 3. A lot of cars involved. Rudiman is in that. Gilliland is in there. Boyer. You see the 43 of Sorensen, the 83 of Vickers. There's Rudiman. Dale Jr. caught up in it as well. Smoke just pouring out of the 88.
And this is, you know, we talk about this racetrack all the time. The big accidents at Daytona happen almost always in the middle of the backstretch. Guys jockeying for position, inside, outside, and you just don't clear somebody, or you clip somebody and you force somebody into a wall, and then it's a chain reaction because you got no place to go and you can't see.
Reed Sorensen in the 43.
Here they are in a straight line. I'm not even sure where this one starts. You see the 12 car.
Wow.
He gets tapped. He gets into the back. It's like Casey gets in the back of him.
Yeah, and that's what happens with these cars sometimes. If you're not dead straight when you're hitting the guy in front of you bump drafting, you're going to turn them straight into the wall.
And you saw the 00 turn to the outside. Well, obviously he got hit in the back and turned the opposite way by somebody. Now look at that. You can see nothing. From where we were sitting right there, you could see from there, you could see nothing back all the way to turn 2.
Yeah, Casey definitely got into the 12, didn't he? Watch Rudiman in the 00 come around.
Yeah, well, at this point.
Oh, man.
At this point, when you're behind something like that happened, all you can do is look straight, hold the steering wheel straight, get out of the gas, and hope you don't get run into or you run into somebody. There's not a whole lot you can do in this situation.
And the thing is, the accident started. Here's what happens with accidents at Daytona and places like this. You see these guys still piling into the wreck down here. There were almost 3 wrecks there. Okay, you had the first wreck, you had the 12 and the 9 get together. All right, then the 00 gets turned into the outside wall, starts another wreck. As those cars come out of the smoke on the other side, they continue to run into each other down in turn 3. That spread over about a mile and a half, or a mile of the racetrack.
And what happened was, when Casey was not squared up with the 12 when he hit him, the 12 was over just a little bit. It wasn't a flat square shot, and that's what turns the car to the right.
Inside the 6th door.
And watch Junior.
Clear.
He can't do nothing. He's holding it straight.
Come on, go high, go high, come on.
Runs
Come on,
into
come on,
somebody.
come on.
There's nothing you can do about it. Most of it's luck if you get through one of these wrecks.
And that's why Wally and I said earlier, there is no safe place in this pack. There is no safe place at the back. There is no safe place at the front.
Speaking of luck, watch this one.
Just gets it straight.
Just gets by. Now Junior's right behind him, and it closes up. And that's how quick it closes up. It closes up within a car length.
I'll tell you another one who was lucky was David Reagan, because when Rudiman comes back across the center of the racetrack, Rudiman almost drills him right in the door. He just disappears too fast.
When you're sitting in the race car, how many times have you closed your left eye or your right eye and grit your teeth? Because that's how you know it's that close.
And I always like it when the crew chief and the guys come on and say, "Great job of driving," and you never move the wheel. You never move the wheel.
But you took all the credit,
But you take all the credit
on that.
There's plenty of times the crew chief says, "What were you thinking? What were you thinking?" So you got to take them when you can get them.
Kevin Harvick on pit road, crew working on the front of him.
Front right there, that's going to bolt to the front.
Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Trying to figure out a way around their own teammate there, Marty.
That old family reunion up there, 1, 2, 3, huh, Ralph? And you guys were talking about Tony selecting the bottom line. Here's one thing that Tony has talked about several times. The car is so loose to start a runoff with that it seems like the bottom is better. Seems like when he's up top, the looser or the higher he is, the looser the car gets. Now his car's a little bit tight. So I think really Wally and Kyle, it's more of a handling issue as to why Tony's hugging that yellow line more than anything else. Don't you guys agree?
Certainly that explains it, Marty. I mean, if that's why he's choosing it, because he's too loose on the high side, then exactly. Especially on the restarts. Oh, we got the 0-0 in the wall.
Oh, David,
clear down, all the way down.
And he's been kind of having some issues. I saw
one more
him
coming on the outside there, outside, right front blue.
I saw him struggling when they went back to green.
But we saw that car. That car was torn all to pieces.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
It was
with going
good
back.
before that, though.
Yeah, but that's the problem with going back out on the racetrack. This is what we were talking about earlier. These cars that go back out, you come in, you try to fix these things, not get a lap down, try to fix them. And like you said must have cut a right front tire. You see the car, it's humming along there. Everything looks good. He's turning down, coming down the racetrack. Boom. The fender comes up, he blows the right front tire because probably the tire's rubbing on something internally that you don't see from the outside.
Either that, or even if like you said, once you wreck one of these cars, it's never going to be perfect. It changes the handling and the way these tires are getting in the racetrack, so it just throws everything off, and you have a wear problem somewhere. That can happen as well.
Yeah. Bad break for him, good break for the 26 of Jamie McMurray.
Exactly.
26 car. Yeah, he just pitted, what, 3 or 4 laps ago?
Yeah.
Now, will he come down pit road because there's trash on the racetrack, or will he stay out? You know, because he's only got 3 or 4 laps on that set of tires. And we've already talked about the tire issue, but there's so many cars out of the race right now. I don't think the tire...
flames up in there.
And that's just the rubber burning that's up around the stuff. You know, you can still see it in there, but that's the rubber from the tire that's wrapped up around the spindle and wrapped up around the hub. It just catches on fire.
Yeah, and you can't do it, but really you should call it a day at this point. Yeah. Because now they're going to try to, get this thing back together, and the same exact thing can possibly happen.
I know, and you say, well, why are we trying to put this thing back together? Because we were right there on the cusp of being 12th in points. Yeah. We were 13th. We were 14th. You know, there's been 2 or 3 races. We interviewed him out at Sonoma or out at Infineon. He said, look, I'd take a 15th place finish and go to the house at this time. Just to be there.
He's 13th right now. He's 48 out, Matt, as they get ready for pit stops.
You see the first 5 or 6 cars have lined up. As long as these first 5 or 6 cars are lined up, you see Montoya jump out of the line back there in the back, and then.
But this is where the wrecks start happening, because now these guys are mirror driving more than they're looking out the windshield. Yeah. They're trying to block each other. Whoa!
Oh man!
And all you're trying to keep that guy behind it. You don't.
Oh, there it is. Scott Speed, AJ Allmendinger.
Still outside. Stay in the gas.
Scott Speed in the Red Bull number 82.
And you just get to this point of the race and you can just expect it, because everybody is trying to protect their position. And if you look in the mirror, you see a guy has a run on you, you're going to turn in front of him and try to block it.
8th caution of the night. He was running in 15th.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, they come up on him. He comes up the racetrack and runs right across the hood of Allmendinger's car. And that's it's just like Wally says. Early in the race, there's give and take. There's give and take. We're sitting here looking at 9 laps to go when they were coming by, 8 laps to go. There is no give. There's all take right here.
So the 44 had to check up a little bit. The 82 had a run. And he figured, you know what, I got enough run. I think I can clear him.
And the 26, look at him sawing the wheel in there too, just being the victim, being trapped in the middle groove.
And go ahead. The 26 was coming too.
Yeah, 26 is coming and has no idea that the 82 is there. Has no idea that the closure rate is that fast, and when it closes, it's over with.
This is a great shot, I think. Watch how he misses a 44.
Stay low, stay low, stay low. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No caution yet. Keep digging. Keep your foot in it.
He's been very lucky at avoiding a lot of incidents tonight, Joey Logano. Yeah. He's gotten through some big ones. Scott Speed, on the other hand, headed to the garage area, heavily torn up. Also in the mix, up at the front, Stewart back on the inside one more time, getting ready for the restart.
You're going to see some hammering on bumpers here in a minute. Already you're seeing it. Look at them. They're already pushing each other.
Here we go. The green flag is in the air. 4 laps remaining.
I like these double file restarts, man. Especially like this. 4 or 5 laps to go.
And there's 4 strong. Oh, wow. Jimmy Johnson dumped the 11. I did not expect that.
He just left him. Well, Hamlin's going to slide down in there.
But it's almost like with these cars, once you pull down behind the car, you don't go anywhere, but the car in front of you, he doesn't go anywhere either. Both cars just fell in line.
Boy, it's ugly right there. You see a lot, like I said, a lot of bumper tag right now. You got to give it everything you got. You got 4 laps to go. It's everything. Either get a good finish or bring back the steering wheel.
And how many times have we seen nothing come back but the steering wheel here?
Yeah,
especially here at this place.
Now Kyle pulls out and Hamlin goes with him, but they gotta time it right.
Yeah.
But if the 18 pulls out and the 11 goes, there's a shot at getting by Tony. Tony's car is awfully strong, but he's gonna need everybody to line up against him.
And you're going to need to pick your time to do that as well.
I'd be doing it right now. I wouldn't be waiting for that last lap stuff doesn't work anymore.
That last lap stuff is great for Talladega nights. Okay, it's not great for right here. Let me say that. You want to get in front and block. Is what you want to do, and especially when you've got a teammate, you want to get in front and put it down to the 11 and the 18 and let those guys race. And I'm telling you what, there's not many people, I'll say that, as good or better than Tony Stewart in the last 5 or 6 laps of a race.
And the thing is, you got to do it now, Kyle, because there may be a wreck.
There may be a wreck.
And it may take you 2 or 3 laps to work on that leader. These guys need to be doing it now.
That wreck was almost Montoya. He was completely sideways coming off the corner. He saved it again. Busy night for Juan Pablo Montoya as he still runs up inside the top 10 after all he's been through tonight in that 42. 2 to go.
The guys running 6th and 7th have torn up race cars. You know what I mean? I mean, they've been in accidents, but they have driven the wheels off of them, Kurt Busch and Juan Montoya, to keep these cars in contention.
The only ones not with any damage are the ones at the very front of this pack. But we're not done as we're coming around, getting ready for the white flag.
31 at Burt Car.
Here they come. To the outside. Here comes Kyle Busch. He's got him, and Tony cuts off Hamlin.
Now what's Tony going to do?
You're clear.
And now the question is, Tony's got no help because these guys are running too wide behind him.
Right.
So now it's man on man right now.
I don't think it's gonna get wider here in a minute, I believe.
Here comes Johnson in behind Stewart. Is it enough? Hamlin's high side up there by himself in the 11. First lap led all night by Kyle Busch, and it's the money lap, and it might be all it takes.
It really
now, what does Johnson do to help Stewart?
Doesn't matter. Kyle Busch is going to hog all the racetrack, or he should. He's mirror driving right now.
Tony Stewart trying to get to the bottom.
He may get turned for mirror driving, but he's going to be mirror driving.
Stewart's trying to squeeze in there.
See that hand?
Shoving to the bottom.
See that hand? He just wanted to touch him, man. Just wanted to touch him.
Can't get him to the high side. Here he comes.
There he turns him. He turns him.
Busch in the wall. Here comes Stewart to the checkered flag. And another car gets in the backside. It's Casey Kane. And they're scattering everywhere as they come to the line.
Some of these guys hit hard, man.
And one of them was Kyle Busch.
They're still hitting hard. Man, that's an ugly finish. But incredible.
But that was 100% mirror driving, and that's what you have. That's what Kyle Busch had to do.
That's what Kyle Busch had to mirror drive. Tony Stewart had to put the car there and stick the car where. We saw this same thing in Talladega when with the 09 car with Keselowski. He stuck his car in there, he drove it, he put it where it needed to be, and that's the way it was.
Look at the damage to his race car as Kyle Busch crawls out and walks back down the racetrack.
But I know people are going to start, well, this guy did this and that guy blamed this guy. Let me tell you, Kyle Busch did what he needed to do. Tony Stewart needed to do it. This is how you go after winning a race at Daytona. You leave everything on the table. This is Daytona.
The fireworks are going off in the sky, but the fireworks on the racetrack even bigger. Watch this.
Okay, this is the pass that 18 makes on the 14th. Good clean pass. He had a little bit of help.
Wow, he got a great run right there. I don't know where that run come from. It's almost like Tony's car got out from under him or something, because it's almost like Tony checked up. That's incredible.
Okay, now at this point,
yeah,
Kyle Busch is just looking in the mirror. He's got to take all the racetrack. He's got to hog it. 1 lap to go, and we've seen this a lot. See Hamlin out there kind of on the high side. And then you watch the 18's hands in 3 and 4. The 14 is all over the bumper of the 18.
And all he really wanted to do, it looked like when he got in between 3 and 4 here, if he could have just put his bumper to him just a little bit and got him loose and slid him up the racetrack. You see him right here. He drives right to that corner right here. When he makes that turn, boom, I want to be right on that 18's corner and force him up the racetrack right there.
Okay, now Kyle's
blocks,
hanging on,
he blocks,
but he's going to block.
Back,
and it just ran himself over the 14 car.
And here's what happened. Just like we talked about at Talladega and everybody talked about, block me once, that's okay. Block me twice, you're going up in the grandstands or you're going in the wall. And that's what happened. The 18 made 2 swipes at him. One to the inside, one to the outside.
Yeah, this one's fair right here. This one's
not fair.
You kind of had it coming.
Yeah, he had that one coming. When you cut back across the hood of somebody after you've blocked him once, and Tony, once he blocked, Tony put the bumper on the outside of him. He was there.
Watch the 9. I think it's a 9 car
gets
takes
right in the
hit.
back.
I mean, just clobbers Kyle Busch.
And these guys, there's a 31 car touring, but these guys hit hard right here.
Logano finally, his luck ran out.
Yeah, but you see these guys come across the racetrack. This is ugly down here. They're very fortunate nobody got hurt right there.
Trying to bump you. Stay on this yellow line. Chase them, coming up high. There you go.
Pick the rear tires off the ground. Now watch this next hit.
Oh man!
Wow. That's a 180-mile-per-hour shot right there.
Man, that was brutal.
Listen to it.
I think they lost the camera on that one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
For Tony Stewart, his 36th win in his 374th start. Oh man, there goes our camera.
And we lost another camera right there.
Daytona fans got their money's worth.
That was Stewart's crew straightaway.
They did an outstanding job tonight as Tony takes his 3rd July Daytona win, all in the last 5 races. You're watching Wide Open coverage of the Coke 0400 TNT.